G'day folks, and welcome back to the channel for part number 22 of my Drain Essence Apostate playthrough with Manfred here. Last episode, I left you kind of hanging with the Tomb of the Ikon. Normally I would drop a rift there and then teleport back once I have the Fort Ikon rift. That has not happened. However, while I'm here, I am going to pick up a couple of quests from these guys. I definitely could have just let this ride for the moment. I am going to go back and do the Ashes quest, so let's go ahead and get that. Unfortunately, that does mean there's a little bit of a run here, but it's kind of okay. Also, I've been playing a Blade Master recently, so my brain is still pushing Pneumatic Burst and move skills on button 1 and 2. So this will be interesting. Alright, so a lot of this stuff you can kill it to get it out of the way. You can just walk through. It doesn't really matter. Old mate there with his Mirror of Erioctes, or whatever that's called. He can just go ahead and be the only one left alive. How are we doing for bits? Almost 2 million. Okay. It is kind of getting close to that time to turn it off. Also, I mentioned the free loot in this section last time I was here. It's kind of down this way. Ooh, I see that totem as well. It should be under... not this one, it's got to be the next one. So it's kind of under one of those things. If you're ever looking for it and you can't find it, you can usually... Am I in the right place? No, it was there. Or it's over there. Like I said, I don't usually get this one, and every time I try to get it, I end up being lost. I would have sworn it was in here, but apparently it isn't. I might have... oh no, there it is. There it is. I was one little section too early. So, free loot here. Nothing good, of course, because heaven forbid you actually get something good from out of there. Pretty sure I mentioned last time, though, that you will get one good thing from the hidden loot one time, and then you'll just be absolutely crazy about popping every one of the hidden loot chests all the time. Okay, button number 2 on my Blade Master is a targeted teleport, which is why I keep pushing button number 2, thinking I'm going to go places, and instead I put an Inquisitor seal down. That's fine. I'll probably get used to the keys just in time for the episode to be over. I'm also still trying to teleport into packs of enemies and use Ring of Steel, but it's okay. I will survive. Alright, so let's just get through this. A lot of this, like I mentioned, you can fight all this, you can just ignore all of this. I'm mostly just going to stop if too much stuff gets in the way, or if I get a nice build-up of things to kill like this. So this is probably 20, 30, maybe even, probably not 40, but that was a lot of things that just died. We do have more loot in the wall here, and I am absolutely doing that totem. That is an ancient Aether Warp totem, from memory. Yes, ancient spirit totem, not Aether Warped. So I was half right. It was ancient. It was not Aether Warped. Alright, so let's go ahead and burn everything down. I love the way most things are dead before they start moving. I'm not a big fan of the corrupted things leaving goop directly under my feet, but there's not a whole lot I can do about that. None of this is looking particularly good. What do we got? Conflagration, Blade Master Squall, blah, 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 blah. No, none of this is any good, but it will all turn into a small pile of iron bits, which is good. And I was going to say I didn't empty my inventory, but I did. Temporal Arcblade, nice little Aether weapon there, which you could maybe no, you couldn't. Not for this build. I was thinking that was the Aether Force Wave weapon. But actually I'm thinking of Elemental Force Wave, which I do not recommend, just for the record. I'm thinking of Blade of Arcanor, I think it is. Is that one? No, it's Temporal Arcblade. Different. Yeah, I've tried Elemental Force Wave on a Battle Mage. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrendous. I swapped it over to a Warden for the additional all-elemental resistance shred from the tornadoes, and it was somehow even worse because now not only does it do bad damage, It's not tanky anymore either, so it's just bad. Using the elemental weapon and picking cold damage was better than doing elemental damage. And the same was true for fire as well. I didn't try lightning. You definitely can do lightning force wave. There is a helmet that'll give you full conversion. I just didn't have it at the time, and I haven't been bothered to go back and do it since. Anyway, enough waffling about a skill that I don't have access to. Nearly through here, though. It's a decent-sized pack. And otherwise we can just... Thank you for knocking the wall down. We can just kind of book it through here. Now, I don't need the Devotion Shrine, so I'm not going to go down and say hello to Nakrathan. He can keep his crypt all to himself. The loot down there is not worth going in for, and like I said, I don't need the Devotion Shrine anymore, so it's sort of no point. Alright, Archon Bartholem. He will probably hurt a little bit at some point. I say as he barely makes my health bar move the entire fight. Okay, that's fine. I can deal with that. Not getting killed is always a good thing. And we can grab this loot here. Those could be alright. Not the best resistances, but nice stats on it. Increase armor percentage. Just not as good as the other ones that I've already got. Okay, we're done in here. And I'm going to go turn the quest in. I do enjoy a little bit of XP, so getting some from a quest turn in is good. And I'm actually not going to pick up the next quest. So the next quest is to go and find Oroboruk, and we'll be taking his clothes later. But he's way out in the middle of nowhere, and it's not worth doing. I'm also I am friendly with the Outcast. Notice I've never done any of her quests, I don't think. I may have done the normal ones, actually, but I think maybe only one or two of her quests. And we're already pretty high up there. Just in case, and I don't actually remember, but just in case I did do all of her quests in normal, that's also a fairly standard place to be with her. So I'm not 100% sure if I did her quests or not, but if I didn't, I'm not surprised it's there, and if I did, I'm also not surprised it's there, so there we go. Alright, can we perform the ritual? This is the last one I'm going to take. Level 79. I really like Steel Resolve here. Extra damage, extra resistances. 30% to Aether and Chaos from one skill is pretty good, 3% per point. It's a little bit higher than you normally get, especially since it's 3% times 2 per point, which is definitely higher than you normally get. As far as Necromancer is concerned, I could go with a few more points in Mark of Torment. I could add Ill Omen, but I already have a lot of buttons. I could also drop Call of the Grave, but I'm pretty much using this for a heal, so that's fine. Word of Agony could be bumped up a little bit, but I think I'm just going to max out Vigor. Getting a whole bunch of health from that is definitely good. And 40 and 40 in Physique, I think I will just hang on to a few points now. 1 point in Physique is not going to save my life, like it may do early on. And 1 point in Spirit is not going to be a noticeable amount of damage. So I may end up putting it into Spirit. In fact, I'm likely to put it into Spirit. But for the moment, I'm going to hang on to it, just in case there's a piece of gear that I need some stats for. I'm kind of halfway expecting my Spirit to not actually be enough for one of the weapons. Or the offhand. Actually, the offhand's a shield, so that'll be fine. But, yeah, halfway expecting that I'm going to need more Spirit for the weapon. Or it could be more Physique for a piece of armor, I find. Not really sure exactly what it's going to be, but I'm expecting something. Alright, so I'm sundered. I'm standing in goop. Let's get out of the goop. Sundered again. That little circle is kind of annoying. I think I just kill her now. Yeah, there we go. Aggressive of the Grove is pretty good. And the Seal of Blight. I'm not going to use that, but it is pretty decent. For Vitality and, yeah, Acid and Poison builds. Okay, so quest complete. Let's go ahead and talk to the Keeper of Tomes over here. Great. And may he serve you well. Now, you can, like I said, get the next quest here and run out to the middle of nowhere. It'll take you quite a while. And I don't think the reward is really worth it, so I'm not going to. I'm going to leave the Death Vigil stuff there. The Order of Death Vigil, we are very close to Revered, and just killing Ethereals will get us reputation. So this is very easy to cap. Often the Death Vigil guys are second or third that you'll get to Revered, so I'm not too worried about it. Same with the Outcast. All right, let's say half of this is from Act 1, from normal quest. Killing Ethereals, killing Chthonians, this happens all the time. One of my favorite areas to farm gear in, the Blood Grove, is just packed full of Chthonians. So getting the Outcast to Revered is very, very easy. It'll just kind of happen by accident. So I'm not too worried about that. Let's go ahead and talk to Moira. No, we don't want to do Moira's quest. Moira can keep her quest. Alright. Go ahead and vendor all this. I was actually expecting Old Mate over here to have a quest for me to go talk to the witch, but this may be after Lucius. Either way, he doesn't have it right now. So we're going to go pay a beating to Lucius. And that was 2 of the most underwhelming move skills I think I've ever seen. And I'm pretty sure it was because he was trying to go sort of up here on the top level. I'm still very disappointed. Alright, Camlandris. I don't know. Warp Fire. Okay. Sweet. It's Fire and Cold. I was thinking that was Aether and Cold. Did that have an Aether proc? It does have an Aether proc. +1 to 2 skills. Yeah. Nope. Being Aether damage on the proc is nice, but the rest of that is definitely not an Aether weapon. Even if it was, I'm using a monster infrequent. I keep looking at gear and going like, wow, that's really exciting, I could use that, and then I remember, oh wait, this build uses every monster infrequent known to man. So actually all the cool gear you find, you just can't use it. Well, I guess you could. Your build would be weaker for using the fancy gear, but it is a little disappointing. Alright. Corpusia? I don't know how to say that. Corpuscle? Anyway, it's dead now. So go ahead and give me all of those MIs. There's like 5 of them. And I'll take the Legion supplies as well. Alright, so on Veteran, I use Lucius as a kind of measuring stick, I guess, for how good is my damage. That is still kind of true on Ultimate. He does a lot... He has a lot more health on Ultimate. So we'll see how we go. The reason I use him on Normal, or on Veteran, I guess, for a test of how good the build is because I fight him fairly regularly, and because he's sort of halfway through Act 4, your build is more or less online most of the time. And if you can't kill him before the meteor comes out, you're probably struggling a little bit. So we will see how we perform here, but level 80, yeah, the build is definitely together, and I don't feel like I'm struggling, but I'm also not going to be surprised if I do see the meteor. Alright, Asperia goes down, thank you for the loot. And the boys are going to take them out. Okay, so again, the only thing you need to actually dodge is the meteor. Yes, another pathetic human. Alright. Flamethrower. Next up is going to be the meteor. I am going to have to dodge this. And that's going to be fine. Here he comes. And he's dead. So it wasn't actually too far off. I'm kind of okay with that. I'm going to pop the I was going to say the rest of the loot, but as I'm hitting the first one. Okay, so Lucius is done, supplies are collected. Now, I've already got... Actually, I don't have Revered with Homestead. Okay, well, we're going to ruin that a little bit more as well. So turning the supplies into the Black Legion is objectively the correct choice. Whichever one you have the lowest number with, it will be the Black Legion. They're the ones you want to give the supplies to, so here you go. And you do lose some Homestead rep, but you gain additional Black Legion. Get an extra bag there. I'm pretty sure I already had all the bags, so that's fine. And one day I am going to make a build with this, I promise. What do we actually get bonuses to on that? Reckless Power, so that's Arcanist. Bunch of Aether damage to Reckless Power, Lightning to Aether conversion. Yeah, I mean, I guess a melee druid could be okay. Do like Aether Primal Strike or something? Anyway. Aether Savagery maybe, that's already converted though, so maybe not. One day I'm going to make a build with that weapon. It's just not going to be today. Oops, that's not the teleport button. Still got Blade Master Brain. Blade Master is not dead, which is surprising, because I'm very good at killing Nightblades. But this one is doing pretty well. It definitely feels a lot like the Aether Death Knight, the dual-wielding one. Even though the Death Knight is obviously has nothing to do with Nightblade, it's still a cadence auto-attacker with a lot of weapon pull skills, so it feels very similar. Why aren't you dying? Are you heavily resistant to Aether? Yeah, so they actually do feel very similar. Which is good. I like it. Old mate's running away, which I'm not such a big fan of. And you're not reflecting anymore, are you? So it's time for you to die. Mage Storm of Thunder is questionable. Alright, I see the aura over here, so obviously I have to go and kill Corpse Fire. Oh, and his friend. I didn't even get to see who his friend was. He died too quickly. Andoros's Amplifier, no good for us. It's offhand, I think? Nope, it's the gun. +1 to Inquisitor is not horrible, but no Aether stuff on that. And Artifact handling? Okay. Okay, you guys need to get out of the way so as I can come through. Thank you. Alright, so we've made it, well, almost made it to the Necropolis. There's a lot of stuff here that I want to blow up. So nearly made it to the Necropolis, which means we are getting close to the end of Act 4. Which obviously means we're getting close to the start of Act 5. That's how numbers work, yes. So we're on the home stretch here. Definitely on the home stretch here. Not quite there yet, though. Have to kill the Loghorrean first. The Loghorrean on Ultimate, honestly, I am fully expecting to stand in his face and hold right-click, and that's it. Even more so than normal. The build is kind of finished, if that makes sense. As in, all the parts are there. It does pretty good damage. It's borderline invincible as long as you don't get one-shot, and as long as you're holding down right-click. So, really not expecting any issues. Okay, officially into the gates of Necropolis here. And I think I want to just get through this. Today is going to be Kill Loghorrean Day. I will do this totem, obviously, and there is an argument to be made for kind of going a little slower through here, clearing the map around all the... There's 4 potential totem spawn locations in the gates of Necropolis area. So there is an argument to be made for going slower and clearing all those so you can farm them easier later. I actually pretty much made that argument for the Blood Grove. But you know what? I'm just not going to do it. I don't feel like it. You can't make me. You're not my dad or my supervisor. But there's definitely an argument for doing it. All right, so filling up on loot. Let's see if we can't juggle this. Just Tetris this a little bit better than the AI can. Okay. Right there, buddy. You know when you're texting someone and you type out a word and you get one letter wrong, so then you type out the same word again and you get another letter wrong. So then you type it out a third time and you get it wrong again, and then you just end up typing out "screw it" or something like that. You know what I mean? That's how I feel with that little inventory trick there. It would be a lot more amusing, or maybe a lot less amusing actually, if I wasn't recording. Also, it's probably a good idea to proofread your text messages before you just mash the send button. But I would probably be a hypocrite if I suggested that, because I definitely don't do it. Alright, we're skipping the crypt there. What is that? I can never remember the name of that place, but we're skipping it. I am going to hit the devotion shrine, not because I need devotions, but because it's basically a totem at this point. Granted, it is a worse totem, but it's not horrible. There it is. Loot is always good, so let's go ahead and pop that. And show me loot. There we go. Troll Gut Eviscerator. What do we got here? Cadence, Fighting Form, Earthquake proc. Yep, that's a soldier weapon right there. Alright, starting to get into the chaos stuff as well, which is nice. Less ethereals, more chaos means we are getting much closer to Old Mate. Old Mate being the Loghorrean. And let's see if we get some actual scary. Here we go. This guy should be scary. These two, both of them, should be at least a little bit scary. I don't think they actually had... No, one of them at least had a cleaver. Alright, so keep in mind, Tyrants of Ruin, this guy was actually hitting me with this. Now, 16 to 66 additional physical damage is not particularly amazing, but 352% increase fizz is kind of painful. So just imagine double those numbers, and that's the one that I'm scared of getting hit with again. I had a very tanky character, and the health bar just disappeared. Fortunately, you don't have to deal with that sort of thing very often. Apparently, I didn't talk to Inquisitor Creed. So apparently when I went up here, specifically to talk to Creed, I didn't do it. Yeah, he still wants to talk to me. Okay. Nope, that's it. Alright, quest collected. Speak to Ulgrim at the Necropolis, which I have a Riftgate, and Old Mate wants me to talk to the Outcast as well, so I'll go... Actually, you know what? I'm going to do that first. Because otherwise, if I don't do this right now, I'm going to forget. I guarantee you, I promise you, in 3 episodes' time, someone will be down in the comments saying, hey, you remember you were going to go talk to the Outcast? And I'll be reading the comments when I wake up the next day and just thinking to myself, didn't I do that? So it's fine. We're going to go talk to her, and we're going to remain friends. Why not? I think we can give her the... we can give her the Ancient Heart, Blood of Chthon, and Tainted Brain Matter as well. Definitely don't need to do this. It's probably best not to, actually, because this is going to cost me Black Legion reputation, which I definitely want. What do we need here? Blood and a heart. 1 heart, 1 blood. Yeah, so doing this quest is going to get me reputation with her, and it's going to cost me reputation with the Black Legion. and the reward for doing it is going to be XP. So, in hindsight, I shouldn't have accepted this quest. So, minus 200 Black Legion, plus 1100 Outcast. The Outcast has a couple of okay augments that get replaced. The Black Legion has some really, really good augments that don't really get replaced. Mankind's Vigil is used in a lot of finished endgame builds. And Kingsguard is kind of pretty good if you need those things. Alright, it took me long enough. I hate that guy sometimes. Okay, wagons. Let's go get us some wagons after we kill these guys. I am definitely still capped on Chaos, which is good. I see you there, Nikazul. Sounds like a Warcraft 3 name. That's fine. I'm just checking for the Exalted Stash. There is an Exalted Stash in this area, and one of the spots it can be is just here. So I was just having a look there. It's not there, which makes it 2 other places, I think, where it can be. And they blew up their own wagon, so that was good. That was very clever. Got 1 wagon left, okay. So I am going to be collecting the Exalted Stash, there it is. There is also obviously a totem. Signet of the Damned for my guaranteed blue or better. It's actually not horrible. This is one of the blue items that you want to keep. So if you find something, actually this is not one. But the blue rings that you want to keep are the ones that have minus resistance shred on them. So I'm actually blanking on the name. It's a vitality ring. There's another one of these anyway that has vitality and I think chaos resistance shredding, but definitely vitality. I'm curious now what the name of that is. I'm going to look it up while I pick all this stuff up. Also, if you're wondering, probably not wondering, but let me just swap over to Grim Tools because I actually want to show this. One sec. Okay, welcome to grimtools.com. One thing you can do here is you can actually use star as a wildcard in your searches. So if you don't know exactly what the percentage of vitality resist shredding is, you can do minus star % vitality. And the ring I was talking about is the Curse Bearer here, which doesn't have chaos resist shred, it's only vitality. But this is one you would want to hang on to. And anything kind of like this is what I was talking about, I guess. Signet of the Fallen being the legendary version of that, and Void Heart only on critical attacks, but does vitality and chaos. So there you go. That's kind of the one that I was thinking about. And let's jump back into the game here. There we go. So yeah, that little wild card, or the asterisks for any number can be here, sort of thing, is very useful to know if you're doing a lot of searching on Grim Tools. There is also more advanced search features as well that I don't actually know how to use. But you can get some really useful searches with those. There is a way of doing it, even though I don't know how to do searches for multiple different things. But like I said, I'm a bit of a noob when it comes to that. It's one of those things where I've never found an easy source for how to do it, and I've never really cared or needed it enough for me to go chasing that information. Where is this wagon? It's going to be down here, isn't it? But yeah, there's a lot of very useful searches you can do on Grim Tools to find various items. Yeah, it's going to be down there. Let's run down there the slow way. Could have gone this way, but nah, too easy, too easy. Okay, it's got to be over here then. Nathalion the Houndcaller. Trying to run away. How rude. Okay, that looked like it was a big spell. I think that was his hound calling. Where is this thing? Here's the guy that I said I saw earlier and was totally going to kill. I'm just going to assume it's this one. I think that's the only one I haven't done yet. So I'm going to run over there. Yeah, there it is. Okay, these big guys definitely are more scary than they have any right to be. With the amount of time I spend talking about them as well, you would think they would be on par with, you know, the Shamblers. They're definitely not. Shamblers are way more dangerous. With the Shamblers, it's every single one of them will throw a rock at you and do just silly amounts of damage. Whereas with these Tyrants, it's like one out of every 700 or something will have just some ludicrous combination on the weapon. These ones with the blue names, or the white names, sorry, I'm pretty sure can't actually have the weapon. Or if they can, it's a very, very low chance. I don't think I've ever seen one drop one, and I've killed a lot of them. I've killed a lot of them specifically playing characters that want that weapon, so I don't remember them ever dropping it. Okay, am I going to go into the little secret area here? Yeah, I think I will. Alright, this is the loose torch that'll get you in. This door opens up. The one on the other side also opens up, but there's no reason at all to use that door ever. There is a good bit of loot in here, though, so you can either choose to come in here or not, as you wish. This chest is usually pretty good. I have pulled some nice stuff out of these two chests. Not super often, not every time by any means, but I have definitely dropped some good stuff there. Alright, there is also a devotion shrine in this area, I'm pretty sure. Before we get there, though, there's some loot in the wall. So let's pop the hidden spoils. And we're full. Are we actually full? Yeah, we're actually full. Alright, that's fine. Let's go and empty it out. This merchant's also interesting. So she's got a whole bunch of flesh warped helm, which is similar to the flesh warped cask, which I don't have one to show. Actually, I don't think I do. I might have one. But these are all just cosmetic items. They do actually have stats. How about that? I would have swore that they had no stats on them. I guess it shows how often I actually look at them. What was that weapon? Purple. Crystallum? Yeah. Not bad for lightning. Anyway. Not playing a lightning build on this character. Dave would love one of those. Okay. Curse Bearer? No, it's not Curse Bearer. Signet of the Damned is an okay one to hang on to as well. Level 82, it's a pretty good Sigil of Consumption. So you're getting Sigil of Consumption, which is pretty good for vitality damage. You're also getting skill points, which if you're playing a vitality build will be useful. You got 2 good resists, you got health, you got offensive ability. Even if I'm not playing a vitality build, this ring is not bad. Just for the resistances, health, offensive ability, lifesteal. That 4% attack damage converted to health, that's global lifesteal. So if you're playing, I don't know, a piercing damage Blade Master, that is still useful. So this ring, if you get one, go ahead and hang on to it. You might need it on an alt, or you might want it on an alt. Just pretend I didn't sell it. All these items I keep telling people, hey, you should keep that, it'd be really good for X, Y, or Z. And then I sell them. Alright, where's my green wormy guy? There he is. Hi, green wormy guy. So Bane Galgalore, he'll be either here or in front of the door on the way out of this level. Down he goes. Boneweave Girdle. Okay. So that is another vitality item. I'm playing the wrong character here. Apostate definitely can be played as a Vitality build. Between this and that ring I just sold, would actually have a pretty good start to a Vitality build. But I did just kind of do a Vitality Ritualist not too long ago, so we'll stick with this. Okay, more loot in the walls with secret doors and such. Devil's Cage Horberg. Okay. This... I wouldn't mind using this just for that massive jump in armor. The Devil's Cage proc itself is, yeah, it's okay. Trapping your enemies so they can't run away or towards you can be quite good. I really, really like that Vitality conversion on the chest, though. This could be a little scary. Maybe. We'll see. Mythical Exonerator. Lightning Pistol? Okay. What do we got? Physical and Piercing conversion on Cadence. We've got Physical and Fire on Fire Strike. Physical and Piercing on Savagery. So this is ranged Cadence, ranged Fire Strike, or ranged Savagery. All of them lightning. Bunch of lightning damage added to all three of them, as well as the conversion. Yeah. Lightning pistols. There you go. It's just a shame that you really need to have the you really need to already have this in your inventory and be planning to use it. Lightning pistols just do not have... I'm pretty sure they don't have even a single monster infrequent lightning pistol. Like, not one. The whole way up to level 100. And then there's a crafted one at level 94. So lightning pistols just seems like a bad option to me for leveling. Fire pistols are not much better. They do have a decent number of options while leveling, but the damage just ain't there. Alright, totem. Here we go. Having said that, I just complained about the fire pistols. They are by far better than lightning. And also better than cold. I think Aether is probably the easiest one. Or the one with the most support, let's say. Just because of Rutnik's pistols. Love seeing that last guy in the pack just fall over. Alright. Wen Kazul, let's go. What do you got for me? He didn't have a weapon. That is disappointing. It's also kind of good, though, because I don't really want to take huge amounts of damage from every swing. Alright, Green Wormy Boy might be here. I've already killed him, so he's not. And welcome to the Seal of the Loghorrean. Once again, trying very hard not to make seal barking noises. Which would amuse me, but I would probably lose multiple subs from it. So yes, this is my least favorite zone in the game. Or maybe second equal least favorite, perhaps. I also don't like the undergrowth in the swamp. But yeah, I really don't like this place. I've had exactly one time, I think, where I didn't run into at least one dead end where I had to turn around and backtrack. So let's see if I can make it 2. The one time I had a really good run, actually, that one time where I didn't have to backtrack. It was just straight up the side and in. There was no sort of cut-off areas. Just walk in, kill old mate in front of the seal, or in front of the Loghorrean's house, and we're golden. Is it happening again? Are we really doing this? I think it's happening again. Yeah, it's happening. Happening status, that's crazy. Okay. I'm okay with this. This is alright. So, this is Bloodlord Thalanus. He's going to summon friends because I can't kill him fast enough to stop it. And then his friends are going to die horribly. and blow up my resistances. Yep, vitality down to 55%, down to 30%. Fortunately, I'm not dead, but yeah, he is a little dangerous if you end up killing his friends early. Whereas, there it is, Bloodsworn Sigil. This is one of his monster infrequents. So we get attack damage converted to health on Flames of Ignifar. Vitality to fire on Doombolt. This is one of the builds that I was considering doing. We went with Lightning Doombolt instead. But the other one that was, I think, second or third was the Fire Doombolt. And I would have used this metal to convert it over to fire. Doesn't normally have that Chaos Bolt there either. This is actually a fire weapon or fire item. Okay, resistances for the Loghorrean. I want poison, I want chaos, I want fire, and I want vitality. I'm pretty happy. Let's just go kill him. So again, I'm expecting to put the seal down, stand in it, and blow him up. That's what I'm expecting to do. Let's see if it actually happens. I am going to have to put the occasional additional Inquisitor seal on the ground, but here we go. It's going to sunder me. He's gonna sunder me any second now. I guess I can spend a second to kill his buddies. I am really surprised he hasn't thrown the sundering attack. When his mouth glows red like that, he's getting ready to sunder. When it's green, he's going to vomit on you. Any second now. There's the vomit. Minimal damage. Is this... Here we go. He's going to sunder me. He's going to sunder me. Is he going to do it at all? Is he going to die without ever spitting his red ones out? He is. He is going to die without ever sundering me. The Loghorrean needs a buff, and yeah, I think it's just 50% more health. Something like that. More damage as well. Alright, let's have a look. So Silverbolt, pretty good, +3 to all skills in both masteries from a single, granted it's a two-handed weapon, but +3 to all skills in both masteries is pretty good. Mystic of Scorching on his shoulder MI, I'm going to end up selling it. It would have had to be pretty good for me to wear it over this, but actually the armor on it is usually pretty good, right? Let's have a look. Pretty much the same armor as an item 20 levels earlier than it. Equally useless skill points, no proc. The 5% physical resistance is somewhat attractive. The percentage OA and spirit is also somewhat attractive. Yeah. The complete lack of resistances on this is horrible. Alright, let's go turn this quest in. We've got a purple item waiting for us. And then it's onwards and upwards. Well, downwards and forwards into the swamp, I guess. Let's have a look. Inquisitor Creed, what do you got for me, buddy? You have got the Mark of the Forbidden. Okay. Legendary Medal. Alright, hang on. I'm going to need you to shush. Where are you? Okay, so there's some really good stuff on this, and there's a whole bunch of things that I'm not interested in. The really good stuff is the maximum elemental resistance, which I mention this every time, well, most times when an item like this comes up. If you're going from 80 to 82% on a resistance, then that is 10% less damage. If you're going from 83 to 85, then that is considerably more. In fact, let's have a look at that. If we do... What are we going? 83, so we were taking 17, and now we're taking... Hang on, let's click this so I don't cancel the recording. And now we're taking 15. Yeah, 13%. So it's actually really, really good. I think I did that the wrong way around as well. Let me do that again. So 15 divide 17 times 100, but I'll do that in my head. Yeah, 12%. So that 2% on lightning is 12%, and that 2% on the other two is 10% less damage taken, which is pretty good. It's 5% per point if you're going from 80%. So that's really nice. The rest of this item, not so good. Decent, I guess, if you're doing a poison build. Fumble and impaired aim are both quite good. Might be time to go get a new one of these. Anyway, that is actually going to be the end of this episode. We will leave it here. So I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and goodbye for now.